Chosen one, you're carrying royal DNA. Not everyone will understand the weight of this message. Not everyone will feel what you feel right now. Because this isn't for everyone. This is for the rare, the called, the distinct 1% who were born not just to exist, but to reign. You weren't made to blend in, you were built to stand out. Something in you carries a signature from heaven itself, a hidden lineage that can't be explained through earthly ancestry. This is not about a crown that sits on your head. This is about a throne embedded in your spirit. You've been carrying something divine and regal deep within your soul, perhaps without even realizing it. And now, at this exact moment, the timing has come for that royal DNA to activate, for the truth to rise within you, and for everything around you to shift. But before that shift can happen, you must hear this. You must recognize the call that has echoed through the generations, waiting for someone like you to finally answer it. The fire you walked through was not to burn you, but to refine your royalty. Royalty isn't loud. Royalty doesn't beg. It carries a quiet authority. And you, chosen one, have carried that presence your whole life. Even when you were in the background, even when you were suffering in silence, your spirit was radiating a regal essence that others couldn't put into words. You confused people because they saw your humility, but couldn't deny your power. They tried to box you in because your presence disrupted their illusions. You're not just different, you're destined. And now that DNA is waking up. You're entering a phase where everything that didn't make sense before suddenly clicks into place. The losses weren't random. The betrayals weren't punishment. The loneliness wasn't your fault. It was all part of your divine coding. Because royalty must be tested before it can be trusted. You weren't just protected. You were hidden. You weren't being rejected. You were being positioned. You were walking through training camps disguised as trials. Your life may not have looked royal, but your essence always was. You had to walk through the wilderness so that no one could claim your throne was man-made. You had to build character, discipline, and discernment so that when your moment arrived, you wouldn't self-destruct like many before you. That's the cost of royal DNA. It carries power, yes, but it demands responsibility. You're not just here to wear a crown. You're here to shift bloodlines, to awaken generations, to carry a legacy that will echo into eternity. The people around you can sense it even if they can't explain it. Some are drawn to you and don't know why. Others are intimidated by your presence, though you've said nothing. That's because your very existence carries weight. Your walk has spiritual authority. Your silence speaks louder than others' noise. You're not meant to follow the crowd. You are the blueprint. You're the proof that something holy has entered this generation. You are the reminder that God doesn't choose based on popularity, but on purpose. And this is your moment of realization. This is where it all begins to make sense. This is where you stop downplaying your worth. Stop shrinking to fit in rooms that don't deserve your light. Stop apologizing for being powerful. Your gifts, your voice, your intuition, your divine instincts. They are not coincidences. They are coordinates for your calling. Royalty walks with vision. Royalty speaks with intention. Royalty doesn't need approval. It walks in alignment. You are walking into seasons where you won't need to chase. What's meant for you will recognize your DNA and bow to your presence. The doors that once ignored you will open, not because you begged, but because you are the key. Your name will be mentioned in places you've never stepped foot in. Why? Because heaven has already stamped you. You've been approved in the courts of the divine, and now it's only a matter of time before that approval manifests in the natural. But you must stay grounded. Royal DNA doesn't exempt you from process. It gives you power in the process. It reminds you that even when life looks unstable, you're still seated in authority. Even when it seems like you're losing, you're still protected by a force unseen. Even when you feel the weight of delay, you must remember, kings and queens are never rushed. They arrive when the moment is right, when everything has aligned, when their presence will change everything. You may be in a small place right now, but your DNA knows expansion. That's why you feel uncomfortable in places that lack vision. That's why your soul gets restless when you're around gossip, laziness, or spiritual blindness.